There are moments in life when the weight of existence feels unbearable, when the simple act of waking up requires more strength than we feel we possess. You carry this exhaustion quietly, perhaps smiling through conversations, while inside you feel hollowed out, drained of the enthusiasm that once colored your days. You are not alone in this struggle, and you are not broken for feeling this way. Even the most powerful man in the ancient world, Marcus Aurelius, Roman emperor and philosopher, knew this darkness intimately. In his private journal, later known as the Meditations, Marcus Aurelius wrote not as a conqueror or ruler, but as a human being wrestling with doubt, weariness, and the profound question of why we continue when life feels meaningless. He faced plague, war, betrayal, and personal loss while carrying the weight of an empire on his shoulders. Yet from his struggle emerged wisdom that has guided countless souls through their darkest hours. His words were not written for publication, but for his own survival, making them all the more powerful for those who find themselves tired of life. Marcus Aurelius understood that exhaustion often comes from fighting against the natural flow of existence. He wrote, "Accept the things to which fate binds you, and love the people with whom fate associates you." This is not passive resignation, but active acceptance. The recognition that much of our suffering comes from resisting what is already happening. When you feel tired of life, you may be exhausted from the constant battle against circumstances beyond your control, from trying to force outcomes that were never yours to determine. The emperor learned that peace comes not from controlling life, but from flowing with it, like water that finds its way around obstacles rather than battering against them endlessly. The impermanence of all things, including pain, was a constant meditation for Marcus Aurelius. He reminded himself that everything is only for a day, both that which remembers and that which is remembered. Your current suffering, overwhelming as it feels, is temporary. The sadness that seems to define your existence today will pass, just as every emotion and experience before it has passed. This is not empty comfort, but a fundamental truth about the nature of reality. When you feel trapped in hopelessness, remember that the very cells in your body replace themselves, that the thoughts creating your suffering are as temporary as clouds passing across the sky. Marcus Aurelius found strength in duty, not as a burden, but as a lifeline. He wrote, "In the morning when thou risest unwillingly, let this thought be present: I am rising to the work of a human being." Even when motivation abandons you, when passion feels like a foreign concept, there remains the simple dignity of fulfilling your role as a human being. This might mean caring for a family member, completing a task at work, or simply treating yourself with basic kindness. Duty, in the Stoic sense, is not about grand gestures, but about showing up consistently, especially when you don't feel like it. In this showing up, you often rediscover purpose that was hidden beneath the fog of exhaustion. The emperor understood that much of our suffering comes from the stories we tell ourselves about our experiences. He wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. When you feel tired of life, examine the narrative you've constructed about your circumstances. Are you telling yourself that things will never improve, that you are fundamentally flawed, that your situation is hopeless? Marcus Aurelius practiced separating facts from interpretations, events from the meanings we assign to them. Your life may contain difficult circumstances, but the story of powerlessness and despair is one you can choose to rewrite. In his darkest moments, Marcus Aurelius turned to the vastness of time and space for perspective. He wrote, "Remember that very little disturbs the order of things. Your problems, vast as they seem from the inside, are small movements in an enormous universe that has seen countless beings struggle and overcome." This is not meant to diminish your pain, but to remind you that you are part of something larger, that your struggles connect you to the universal human experience rather than isolating you from it. When you feel tired of life, look up at the stars and remember that you are made of the same material, that your existence is both brief and precious. The practice of Memento Mori, remembering death, was central to Marcus Aurelius' philosophy. He wrote, "It is not death that a man should fear, but never beginning to live." Paradoxically, contemplating mortality can restore your appreciation for life. When you feel tired of living, you may have forgotten what it means to be alive, to feel the sun on your skin, to taste food, to experience the simple miracle of breathing. Death gives life its urgency and meaning. The fact that your time here is limited makes every moment valuable, even the difficult ones that are teaching you resilience and compassion. Marcus Aurelius recognized that adversity is not punishment, but education. He wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Your current struggle with life's meaning is not evidence that you are failing, but that you are being called to grow in ways you never imagined. Every person who has found deep purpose has walked through valleys of meaninglessness. Your exhaustion with life as it is may be the beginning of discovering life as it could be. The darkness you feel now is not your destination, but your starting point for transformation. The emperor found solace in the interconnectedness of all things. He wrote, "We were born to work together like feet, hands, and eyes, like the two rows of teeth, upper and lower." Your weariness may come from feeling isolated, from believing that your struggles are yours alone to bear. But you are part of a vast network of human beings, many of whom have felt exactly as you feel now. Your pain connects you to others rather than separating you from them. In reaching out, in sharing your burden, you discover that you are not alone, and that your experience has value in helping others navigate their own dark nights of the soul. Marcus Aurelius understood that renewal comes through small, consistent actions rather than dramatic changes. He wrote, "Confine yourself to the present. When life feels overwhelming, when the future seems impossibly difficult, return to this moment. What can you do right now? Perhaps it is taking a deep breath, drinking a glass of water, stepping outside, or speaking kindly to yourself. These small acts of self-care are not trivial but revolutionary when you feel tired of life. They are declarations that you are worth caring for, that this moment matters, that you are choosing to participate in your own healing. The emperor's final lesson for those tired of life is perhaps the most profound, that questioning the meaning of existence is itself meaningful. He wrote, "The universe is change. Our life is what our thoughts make it." Your exhaustion with life may be the universe's way of calling you to examine what you truly value, to strip away what is superficial and discover what is essential. This is not a comfortable process, but it is a necessary one for anyone seeking authentic fulfillment. Your tiredness is not a sign of weakness, but of a soul that refuses to settle for a life lived on the surface. If you find yourself tired of life, remember that you are in the company of emperors and philosophers, artists and saints, all of whom have walked through the valley of meaninglessness and emerged with deeper wisdom. Marcus Aurelius faced his darkness with courage and honesty, using it as raw material for growth rather than evidence of defeat. Your struggle is not the end of your story, but the beginning of a new chapter, one in which you discover reserves of strength you never knew you possessed. The very fact that you are seeking wisdom, that you are open to guidance, shows that the spark of life within you, though dimmed, has not been extinguished. Tend to that spark with the same care a gardener tends to a seed in winter, knowing that beneath the surface, new life is always preparing to emerge.